Welcome into the Green Bay Packers Report. I am your host, Joey Petersen. We got a ton to talk about on today's show, starting off with some major injury news on cornerback Nate Hobbs that seemed to come out of nowhere. Then after that, we're going to talk about why that news impacted the other news of the signing of Corey Ballentine, why that signing was so smart. And then we're going to wrap the show up with my best available free agent cornerbacks. We got a lot to discuss. Make sure you guys are buckled in and make sure you guys are subscribed, okay? Because we've got you covered. If you want a fun place to watch all Packers preseason games and all Packers regular season games, you can do it with us right here at the Packers Report. This Saturday, they kick off at 7 o'clock on Central Time. We'll be live 6 o'clock Central Time for an hour of pregame. You're not going to miss it. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button because, hey, starters, confirmed by Matt LaFleur today, will be playing in the preseason game. So we're going to have a blast. Make sure you join us by subscribing. Alrighty. Nate Hobbs had knee surgery over the weekend. What? That came out of nowhere. The news originally dropped late last night, and then early this morning, ESPN and Rob Demovsky, they released an article, a little bit more detail on the knee surgery itself, but this was kept very, very under wraps. In fact, I don't think this leaked to anybody. I think some people noticed that Nate Hobbs wasn't really out there during family night. They noticed maybe he wasn't even out there in training camp on Sunday either, but nobody, I think, assumed it was knee surgery. If anything, maybe they just thought it was an injury. He was resting, but the fact that they had to do some surgery on it, I think that caught everybody, myself included, by surprise. Here's a little bit more detail on it. Packers quarterback Nate Hobbs, who was signed this offseason, being one of the cornerstones of their defense, underwent knee surgery over the weekend. Sources confirmed to ESPN, but could be back for the regular season opener September 7th against the Detroit Lions. Hobbs is expected to miss the remainder of training camp, however. A little bit more info on the surgery. All this was detailed in ESPN's article. It was repaired partial meniscus tear, so I guess we should be counting our lucky stars that it wasn't a full meniscus tear. It took place Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. Good thing is, did not have any complications. And the fact of the matter, Hobbs could have played with the injury. Right? He could have played through it. And I have a feeling that if this was something that took place towards the end of the season, he would have just played through it. But because they still got time training camp, they still got about a month until the regular season opener against Detroit, they said, you know what, let's go ahead and get this cleaned up so this isn't nagging him all season long. No sugarcoating it. This kind of sucks for Green Bay, okay? This was a guy you just paid a lot of money to, 4-year, $48 million contract signed in free agency. And I know what you're saying, Joey, why does this suck if he's going to be ready to go week one? Isn't that all that matters? Yeah, I get that, but this is Nate Hobbs we're talking about. This is a guy who's dealt with injuries for the vast majority of his career. That's the reason that Las Vegas felt so comfortable letting him leave. Whether it was an ankle, whether it was a hand, whether it was a knee, no matter what it was, he's dealt with it. And I hate the fact that that's already starting in August. So sure, he'll be back, hopefully by week one. But will he ever be 100% this season? I don't know. And you need him to be. I mean, look at this group right now. You got Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Javon Bullard. Those are most likely going to be the three starters come week one. He may be the best quarterback you have. I think he is. Javon Bullard of the nickel, he's going to be a big coin flip. We haven't necessarily seen him there a lot. We saw him there a little bit his rookie season last year. Keyshawn Nixon, yeah, we've got a lot of confidence in him, but is he going to be able to be a cornerback one for this team? He's had an up and down training camp, it seems. And now Nate Hobbs, a guy who honestly has had a pretty good training camp outside of being too aggressive, which is a problem I think everybody wants to have. Now he's recovering from knee surgery. This is already a unit without a ton of help. Let's be real. This is the weakest unit on this team. It was even before Nate Hobbs got injured. And now after the injury, now after him sitting out and, not getting very useful snaps, useful reps in training camp over the next 3 weeks, useful time in the preseason game as he's learning a whole new system since coming over from Las Vegas, it just is really kind of frustrating. Now, it does explain the signing from yesterday, I will say. I talked about it in my YouTube short yesterday. They signed Corey Ballentine, and initially I wasn't that excited about it, but because of all this that happened, it makes a little bit more sense. Coming up, more on yesterday's signing. We'll do a deep dive into Corey Ballentine, then talk my top free agent cornerbacks that I still think Green Bay should at least think about pursuing. But before that, it is up to you guys. If you want Nate Hobbs back as soon as possible, you got to do me one big favor. That's hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. While you're down there hitting that thumbs up button, you're going to find this link, chatsports.com/Packers t-shirt. That is going to be in the comments and description of today's video. You can get this legend icon t-shirt for just $26. It's a wonderful deal with our friends over at Fanatics. Officially licensed. You got the Nike logo on there as well, the sweet football design. $26. It's very, very hard to find any officially licensed NFL merch for that cheap. So take advantage while it's still that cheap. Chatsports.com/Packers t-shirt. Again, that link is in the comments and description of today's video. So the Packers signed Corey Ballentine, the cornerback that has spent a good amount of time with Green Bay in his career, and my initial reaction was negative. You could go ahead and even look back at the short itself. It's still up on the channel. I was confused. Now, because of the Nate Hobbs injury, it kind of cleared up a little bit of my confusion. I'm not saying it's positive now. Like, I'm not saying that this is 100% the cornerback I would take, but it does make a lot more sense. And there's a part of it where I'm like, you know what? This signing is kind of smart by Green Bay. Because you get a guy in here who's been here before. 37 games spent with Green Bay from 2022 to 2024. And so, yeah, he's a new signing, but there's not going to be a ton of, learn the system, learn these plays, learn these signals, learn these calls, learn these coverages, because he's already been here. Played 15 games last season. Now, played sparingly, only got 6 tackles, 43 tackles, 7 pass breakups the year before that, but he's been here. I love that he knows that system, right? I love that he knows what it's like to play for Jeff Hafley. And he also knows what it's like to play on a team that has Jair Alexander deal with an injury, so he's got to step up and have a little bit more responsibility than he originally had. So in this year where I feel like quarterback, I don't want to say it's going to be cornerback by committee because it's not a position like running back where you can kind of just say that. But I think there's going to be a pretty big rotation of guys, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Corey Ballentine in that rotation if he does end up making this roster. But still at the same point, like, I'm not going back on what I said yesterday. There still are better options in my opinion. There still are better guys out there in free agency at the cornerback position that I think could come in here and have a real legitimate impact and not just be a possible depth piece like Corey Ballentine. We'll get to those guys in a second. Before that, though, grade the Ballentine signing in the comment section down below. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Those better options, these are the guys I'm talking about. These 4 guys are still free agents. Asante Samuel Jr., Rasul Douglas, Stephon Gilmore, and Kendall Fuller. And if I'm being real, if I'm asking some guy to give me snaps in a big game, in a big moment, I would prefer all 4 of those guys you just saw over a guy like Corey Ballentine, okay? Stephon Gilmore. He's not what he used to be, right? He's not going to go out there and he's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year like he did. What was that, Jack? Like 2018, 2017, back when they were in the Super Bowl? He's not that guy anymore, but he's still so solid. What he lacks for in speed, agility, because of his old age, he makes up for with his intelligence and just his knowledge of the game of football. For Asante Samuel Jr., he's a guy that's injury prone. Yeah, I get it. He might be even more injured than people are thinking he was originally because he still isn't signed. But he's so young. He has such a high ceiling. If he anyway feels like he can play football this year, roll the dice on the kid because he's like 24, 25 years old. And then when it comes to Kendall Fuller, sure, he didn't really shine when he was in Miami, but he's only 2 years removed from having a really good season in Washington. And again, you're not going to ask these guys to be your starters because you got Keyshawn Nixon. Nate Hobbs hopefully will be ready to go week 1. You got Javon Bullard in the slot, but you want to feel good about the guys you have behind them. And right now, I don't know if any of us do. Pick one to sign of those 4. Asante Samuel Jr., Rasul Douglas, Stephon Gilmore, or Kendall Fuller. You let me know which one in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for today's episode. Make sure you guys got me followed on social media, on Twitter, Instagram. I'm all over it. You can find me at Joey Petersen 8. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, okay? Daily videos right here on the Packers Report. And we're going live for every preseason game, every regular season game right here on the channel. So y'all make sure to join me.